Namaste. Welcome. It's Jacci. Another yoga practice together. So today we're going to start seated. I have on my mat a couple of blankets that are folded so I can raise my hips up for sitting. You can sit on a blanket or something, or I have a yoga block here. Some people like sitting on that. But when you come to sit, you want to have your hips a little bit raised up. It helps to support the spine, helps us to sit more comfortably. You can sit in any comfortable cross-legged position so that your spine is tall. I like to stack my feet up in front of each other, but whatever's comfortable for you is fine. Take a moment to get yourself settled and close the door of the room that you're in. Give yourself a little bit of space and time to care for your body and the rest of yourself. Little self-care time. Turn off your devices. So we're going to begin, again, seated, so you can just get yourself settled, rock around a little bit. Try to sit yourself up so that your hips are pretty much even with your knees, or maybe even your knees a little bit below. If it is not comfortable for you to sit like this, you can do this first part just seated with your knees bent like this. It's also another way you can do it. So just start by rocking around a little bit. Start to notice your body. And then come to the center. So notice any tendency to round the shoulders or let your head go forward. So see if you can lift your chest so that your shoulders are back and even the back of your head draws back slightly. And you notice, try to stack your shoulders up over your hips so your spine is nice and long. Let your arms come down by your sides. Give them a little shake. And we're going to begin some breathing as we move our arms. So breathing through your nose, inhale your arms up to the height of your shoulders and feel your chest expand and your arms lengthen. And then exhale, let your arms float down and lower your eyes. You could even tuck the chin here if you like. And then inhale. This time turn your thumbs up and lift your arms a little bit above your shoulders. And then the whole exhale to just lower your arms. And you might imagine that as you breathe in, it lifts your arms up. It lifts your chest, almost like there's a balloon in your arms. You're expanding the arms as they lift up. Go a little higher this time. Exhale down. Breathe through your nose. So we'll do two more, and each time we'll try to lift the arms a little higher. And down. And up. And down. And just getting this sense of coordinating your movement with your breath. Let's do one more repetition. And down. And then let one hand come over to the floor, and we're going to lean on that hand, and you could put a block there if you need to. Inhale the other arm over your head and look up at the ceiling. As you exhale, bend that elbow, tuck it behind your back, and look down at the floor. And do that again. Inhale the raised arm up over your head. Reach a bit, look up a bit. Exhale, bend that elbow, tuck it back behind you, and look down at the floor. And one more time. Reaching, looking up. Exhale, bending the elbow, looking down. And on your inhale, just come up to the center. Pause for a moment. Notice the two sides. And then we'll just lean over to the other side and get your hand on something. You can prop that hand up a little higher if it's helpful. Inhale your other arm over your head and look up. Exhale, bend your elbow, look down. Breathing as slowly as you can. So if you're breathing a little slower than me or a little faster than me, that's fine. You want to let the movement be at your own breathing pace. Exhale, bend your elbow. Inhale. Reach your arm up, look up. Exhale, bend your elbow, look down, and when you get to the inhale, just come up to the center. And then just two more breaths. Inhale your arms all the way up over your head. Little symmetry. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then please take a moment to roll your shoulders, even turning your head side to side, and then you could stretch your legs out. So if you're not accustomed to sitting on the floor, the only way you can get accustomed to it is to do it. So If you don't sit on the floor, maybe sometimes you sit on the floor a little bit while you're watching television or something. Give it a try. You can come to hands and knees now. For this part, I'm going to use one of the blankets to pad my knees. So if it's helpful for you to pad your knees, please get some support there. We're going to come to the tabletop position, hands under the shoulders, hips over the knees, and inhale, lift your chest and eyes. Exhale, pull your navel in and fold back to child's pose, letting your elbows touch down, your hips sink back. And then coming up on the inhale, like you're pulling your hands towards your knees, lift your chest and eyes. And then exhale back. This time, as you come up on the inhale, lift your right leg and stretch it back behind you. Flex that foot, lift your chest. And exhale, bend your knee and fold back down. Inhale, lift the left leg, lift your chest and eyes. Exhale, bend your knee, fold back down. And we'll do each leg one more time. So right leg lifts as you come up, inhale. Lower the knee down, fold back with your exhale. And then rise up on your inhale, lift your left leg. Come down on your exhale, fold back. Now inhale, lift your right leg. Circle that ankle for a moment and then put the toes of that foot down on the floor and just push back through the heel so you get some lengthening in the back of that leg. Keeping both arms steady and strong. Inhale, lift that foot a bit and lift your chest. And on the exhale, bend that knee. On the inhale, lift the foot just a wee bit more. Notice the front of that right hip. And on the exhale, keeping the knee bent, tuck it towards your chest as you round your back. And then inhale, keeping the knee bent, lift it back up. Don't roll your hip up. Just keep it level if you can. Do that again. Exhale, pull your belly in, tuck that knee in. Breathing slowly. Inhale, lift. Now this exhale, tuck the knee down just even with the other knee, and on your inhale, lift it out to the side as you lift your chest. And then exhale, pull your belly in as you lower it down so it hovers over the floor. And then inhale, lift it. And exhale, touch it down. Now you could do that again, or this inhale, you can stretch it out to the side and put it flat on the floor, right in line with your hip, and just see. Again, you could do this with the knee bent if you want to try on the inhale to lift that leg. And then touch it down. Inhale, lift. Touch it down. Feel free to bend the knee, both arms strong. One more time. And then you can bend that knee and fold back to child's pose. And then inhale to tabletop. Do that one more time, just noticing the right hip and the left hip. Exhale back. And then inhale up and stretch your left leg back, and I'm going to flip around so I'll have room to stretch my leg out on the other side. Circle that left ankle and tuck your toes under. Push them down into the floor so that you can lengthen the back of that leg. And then inhale, lift the foot and lift your chest. Exhale, touch the toes down, pull your belly in. This inhale, lift your foot, lift your chest, and on the exhale, bend your knee. Pull your belly in. And then inhale, lift the foot just a little bit higher, lift your chest, kind of subtle. Exhale, tuck your knee towards your chest and round your back. And then inhale, lift the bent knee back up. Exploring your left hip. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the eyes. Now this time, exhale, lower the knee down so it's just even with the other knee. And inhale out to the side, fire hydrant pose. And exhale down. Inhale, lift. So lift your chest. Exhale down. And you can keep doing it that way with the knee bent, or you can try to extend the leg out to the side and arms strong. Inhale, lift your foot a little bit. Exhale, touch it down. Again, bent knee is fine. Inhale, lift a little. Exhale, touch it down. And one more. Inhale, lift. And this exhale, you can put the knee all the way back down, fold back to child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale back to child's pose. And then when you inhale up to tabletop this time, you can come down onto your elbows. And we'll do a little puppy pose. So you can let your hips sway, and this is a nice way to get off the wrist for a moment. You can massage the wrist if you like. You can do this also stretching your arms forward so that the shoulders can open up a bit. If that's too much for your shoulders, just stay on your elbows. Watch your cats, watch your dogs. See how they do this. And then please come up to stand on your knees. And again, you could use padding under the knees if you like. I'm going to turn to face you. So want to have the hips, your knees just in line with your hip joints. And like we did, seated on the floor, take your arms out to the side and up and feel how the breath lifts your arms up. And on the exhale, let's lower the arms down. And a couple more like that. So this is one variation for your arms, to do the arms out to the side. Exhale down. Your shoulders may like that. And another option is to let your arms go forward and lift this way, the little bigger back bend this way. So if you like it this way, you can do it that way too. Exhale down. We'll do one more repetition. You can choose either way, arms forward or arms out to the side. And exhale down. Once you come down, you can circle your shoulders a bit. And then if you bring your hands back down to the floor, we're going to take, let's start with the right leg out to the side. And you just let that foot be flat on the floor, and then round your back and check out the other knee. So you want that left hip right over your knee. And then inhale, lift your chest. See if you feel a little stretch maybe in the inner thigh on the right side. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And this time as you round the back, we're going to walk the hands in toward the body and come up to stand on that left knee. Again, it should be straight up and down. Get your balance here. So inhale your arms halfway up to the shoulder height. And again, like the breath is filling your arms up. On the exhale, we're going to lean over toward that extended leg. Let your right hand touch. Let your left arm bend and come behind your back. And then inhale back to the center and lift your arms shoulder height. Again, exhale over. What are you noticing on the left side? Inhale up. It's a pretty small movement to go to the side. So don't worry if it feels like you're not going very far. You probably aren't. Inhale back up. And the next one, we're going to hold that and do some things with the left arm. So exhale over. Stay over. And on the inhale, take that hand from behind your back up to the sky. Lift your arm, lift your eyes if you don't lose your balance. And then exhale, bring that hand down to your back. And you can lower your head again. Look over towards your right foot. And do that again. Inhale, open up. Whole left side. Exhale, belly in as you bring your hand down. Big inhale to lift. Breathe a little slower than me if you like, or faster if you need to. Exhale down, but as slow as you can. And then we're going to lift that arm up and hold for a couple of breaths. So inhale your arm up. Hold on the exhale. And on your inhale, just see if you can open up a little more. Again, hold on the exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale that arm down. Come up to the center. You can go ahead and put your hands back down on the floor. And then put your knee down and fold back to child's pose. So exhale back down. Inhale to tabletop. See if you notice any little difference in the two sides. Exhale back. And before we do that to the other side, come up to all fours, grounding through your hands. Tuck your toes under for a little downward dog. Pedal out your legs a little bit. Maybe you notice some different sensations in the right and the left hip at this point. So you can walk your dog. Again, this is a good thing to learn from your pets. So watch your cats and dogs. Notice how many times a day they do these stretches. Just do it with them. And then please come down to your knees. Again, I'm going to just turn and face you. And we'll take the left leg out to the side. So starting hands and knees, left leg out to the side. You want that foot facing forward if your ankle will do that. And then round your back on the exhale. Make sure your right hip is over your knee, and then lift your chest on the inhale. Do that one more time, rounding exhale. And again, you might notice a stretch in the inner thigh of that extended leg. Lift your chest. And then this exhale, as you round, you can walk your hands in toward your body, and we'll be standing up on the this is the right knee. So you want the heel pretty much in line with your hip here. And then thinking about lengthening your spine as you lift your arms up. You feel your chest lift, your arms float up. Now we're going to lean to the left. So exhale, let your left hand touch your leg, bring your right hand behind your back. And then inhale back to the center and lift. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, lift with your breath. One more over. Inhale, and then we're going to try to hold that side bend. So just exhale over, comfortable amount. Let your left hand rest on your leg, and when you inhale, the hand behind your back is going to go up. So the palm is facing forward. You might try to lift your eyes as well. Exhale your hand behind your back. Look down at your left leg. Inhale, arm, chest, eyes lift. Bring your hand behind your back. Look down, exhale. And one more. Belly in as you lower the arm and lower your eyes, and then we'll hold at the top for a couple of breaths. So exploring the right side, inhale. Hold on the exhale. Maybe you can feel a little length from your hip to your armpit. Stay on the exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale your arm down, and then you can come again to hands and knees. Fold back to child's pose. And noticing the two sides. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale back to child's pose. Stretching out the back, the hips, and then inhale to tabletop again, and we'll go back to downward facing dog. So push up, and you may find that keeping a bend in your knees is helpful. You push down through your hands, you lift your hips up. If you watch your cats and dogs do this, they have a pretty significant bend in their knees. Feel free to pedal out your legs. If you get tired holding this pose, you can put your knees down and come to the puppy pose, and you can be on your elbows. That's also nice. And then from wherever you are, please come to all fours. So if you're in down dog, just lower your knees. Exhale back to child's pose and walk your hands forward a bit. You can widen them a little too. And we're going to do the upward dog movement. So on the inhale, come forward and let the hips shift forward, the chest and eyes lift. Let your elbows be a little bent. Exhale all the way back to child's pose. And do that a couple of times so we get to open up the front of the hips in a more symmetrical way. Exhale back. You want to find a range of movement that feels good for you. We'll do one more repetition. So no pushing. And again, don't lock your elbows. Let your shoulders drop down. You might feel your shoulder blades kind of hugging together. Exhale back. And then resting for a moment in child's pose, you could widen your knees. You can support your forehead. If you're a big fan of downward facing dog, you could come back and just rest in downward dog if that's restful for you. And rock a bit. And then please push up to standing. So if you're in downward dog, you can just stand up. If you're in child's pose, you can maybe push through downward dog to stand. And once you come up, you can move that padding out of the way if you had something under your knees there. And we'll stand up. So let your feet be about shoulder width apart. We're going to shake things out a little bit, and you can swing with me. I love this movement, such a good movement. You can do it anytime. You can do it for a long time if you like, while your coffee's brewing, while you're making your tea, taking breaks from sitting too long. So let your hands wrap around and tap your back. Let your head and your eyes turn. All right, and then come to the center, and we're going to do, again, a side bending movement. This time we're going to begin in the Warrior Two stance. So in Warrior Two, the pose, we step the feet wide, facing the long edge of the mat. So the hips and the shoulders are facing the same direction. There's no turn. And then the right foot turns out 90 degrees, and the back foot turns in a little bit. And when we do the movement in this pose, we're going to be bending the right knee. So just take a test bend in that knee. Make sure your knee is pretty much over your heel and that you have the distance you want between your legs. On the exhale, as you extend that leg, you can touch your belly. Get a sense of the belly drawing in. And similar to what we did in that movement on our knees, inhale, bend your knee, and let your arms float up to the height of your shoulders. Feel the chest expand. Exhale, straighten the leg and touch into your belly. Get that hugging in on the abdomen. And then again, bend your knee, let your arms float up. Try to think about your shoulders rising up out of your hips. And exhale. We'll do two more. This time maybe you turn your head and look over your right shoulder. Exhale. Do that once more. Inhale. Exhale. Now this one we're going to hold this Warrior Two pose. So bend your knee, let your arms go up. On the exhale, let your shoulders get a little softer. On your inhale, let your arms get a little bit longer. Just staying, one more breath. Exhale. Inhale. And then we're going to let this right hand come over to the leg, or maybe even your right elbow, depending on how that feels for you. And you can let the other hand come to your hip, or you can even drape it behind your back like we did in the other movement. So inhale, let your right knee bend a little more. How does that feel? Exhale, unbend it a little bit. Do that again. Inhale, bend your knee a little more. Exhale, unbend it a little bit. Now this time as you bend the knee a little bit, take the hand from behind your back up toward the ceiling. And then as you unbend the knee a little bit, take that raised arm over your head. You could even bend the elbow and look up. And then bend the knee, inhale your arm back up. Open the chest. Do that again. Exhale, a little unbending of the knee as you take your arm over your head. A little bend of the knee as you inhale back up. We'll do that one more time. Exhale. Now inhale, bending the knee. Some amount you can hold for a little bit longer, your arm up, and then we're going to try to rise back up into the pose, keeping that knee bent, and you can take your right arm out. Hold, exhale. Hold, inhale, and then let your arms come down. You can step your feet back together, walk them back in and give them a little shake. And we'll jiggle a little bit, so shake that off. A little swinging. Some of you know I like to make silly sounds, so you could practice your horse lips here. It's more fun when we do it together, but that's not what we have right now, so practice your horse lips. And then come to stand in mountain pose for a moment. So stand with your feet hip-width apart, stand tall, palms open, soften or close your eyes, and just take a moment to check in. Notice the sensations in your body and how you feel. Call this a moment of interoceptive awareness. So you just notice, how are you doing? And then let your eyes open, and we'll do that Warrior Two sequence on the other side. So again, we'll step the feet out pretty wide. You can decide how wide. We'll turn the left foot out 90 degrees, the back toes in a little bit, and we'll do a couple of test bends with that left knee to make sure your knee is over your heel pretty much and that you have the distance that you want. We feel steady. On the exhale, straighten that leg, touch your belly. And now we'll begin with the arms. So as the knee bends, inhale, let the arms float up to the height of your shoulders. Feel your arms lift, your shoulders lift. And on the exhale, as you extend the leg, touch your belly, hug in the abdomen. So smooth movement, smooth breath. You might look over your left fingertips this time. Inhale. Exhale. So do two more. Let your breath be as slow and smooth as you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You might glance over at your foot. Make sure you can see your big toe down there. Exhale, and then the next one we're going to hold the pose. So you bend the knee any amount that you like. Inhale. Just stay on the exhale. Soft jaws, soft shoulders. Stay on the inhale. Lengthen your arms. Lift your chest. Exhale, belly in. One more inhale, and then we'll do our little lateral bend here. So you can just be on your hand if that's what's appropriate for you. You can be on your elbow if that works for you. Upper hand can be on your hip or behind your back. And then exploring your left hip here. Inhale, bend that knee a little more. How does that feel? And then exhale, unbend it. And do that again. Inhale. Exhale, just unbend it a little bit. Now we'll add the arm this time. So as you bend the knee, inhale, let the hand from behind your back go up. Open up your chest. As you exhale, unbend your knee a little bit and take your arm over your head. You can bend that elbow if you like. Inhale, bend the knee, let your arm go up. Exhale, unbend, let your arm go over your head. Let's do that one more. Inhale. Exhale. So inhale your arm up, hold on the exhale, and then see if you can rise back up into the pose for a couple of breaths. So keep your knee bent, strong and steady. Don't forget to breathe. When you get to your exhale, you can bring your hands down, and we're going to keep the feet wide and just turn them to the center and come right down into a wide leg downward dog. So you can bend your knees, fold forward, let your hands find the floor. You might just kind of pedal out your legs a little bit here, one at a time. And then center your hips, keep your heels on the floor, and walk your hands forward like down dog. So a little bend in the knees can be nice here. You could pedal out your legs here. You could let your head turn side to side, or even practice your horse lips again. So in whatever way works for you, we're going to lie down on our back next. So any way you can get down onto the floor, you might walk your feet in a little bit and then come down onto the floor. And we're going to lie down on our back. So please come to lie down. And once you're on your back, you can draw your knees into your chest. And let's do a little rocking to massage your back. And you can circle your ankles and wiggle your toes. Maybe even shake your feet or shake your hands a little bit. Always good to shake things off. And then let your feet come down to the floor. Even up your shoulders, even up your hips. Get yourself situated and take a moment to just notice how it feels to lie on the floor. You might even close your eyes for a couple of breaths. Another moment of interoceptive awareness. How are you doing? How do you feel? And then draw your right knee into your chest, and we're going to take that right leg and just extend it up toward the ceiling, pushing through your heel, spreading your toes, and on the exhale, bend that knee. And do that again. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bend that knee. And then inhale, lift it up. Hold it on the exhale, soften your knee. And this inhale, as you push your heel back up, also lift your right arm over your head toward the floor behind you. And then keep it there on the exhale, soften your elbow, soften your knee. And inhale, lengthen that whole right side. One more time. Exhale, soften your knee, soften your elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Now let that knee bend and your arm come down and cross your right ankle over your left thigh and rock a little bit here. So this is to stretch the glutes and the hip area. So you're welcome to just keep your left foot on the floor. If you like, you can try to pick your left foot up off of the floor. So notice when you picked your foot up, did that cause you to tense up in your shoulders and your throat? And can you do it? Can you lift and still keep your shoulders soft and relaxed? And if you need to hold on with your hands, that's fine. I've been just working with this movement without using my hands lately so that I can keep my shoulders relaxed. It does make you have to work your left leg a little bit and work your belly a little bit, so it's kind of interesting. You know, the version where you hold on to the back of the left leg, this lifting of the chest and the head kind of tends to come into play. So you might, again, just try to do it without using your hands. And you can rock a little bit. Check out that right hip. Might be a little intense. These are big muscles. Good sigh might help. And then please lower your feet to the floor and uncross your legs and take a moment to notice the two sides. And before we do the left leg, those movements, we're going to just do a few little baby bridge movements, just a little symmetry in our hips. So with your knees bent and your feet pretty close to your body, you're going to have the hands palms down. Inhale, lift your hips up. A little baby bridge. And then exhale down. We'll just do two more. So inhale to lift, keeping your neck even. And just a slow exhale. You might think about your spine just rolling down to the floor. And one more like that. Inhale. And exhale. All right. Notice your hips and shoulders, even things up, and then please draw your left knee in toward your chest. And we're going to, on the inhale, extend that leg toward the ceiling. So just push it up like you're standing on the ceiling. You can flex the foot. And then bend your knee on the exhale. Inhale, lift. So how are things in your left knee, left hamstrings? You might even feel your calf muscle or your Achilles. So this time as you lift the leg, also lift your left arm over to the floor behind you. Stay there on your exhale. Soften your elbows, soften your knee. You can hug your belly in too. And then inhale, lengthen back out. The whole left side. Two more breaths like that. Exhale, soften a little. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Little bend in the elbow, little bend in the knee, and then inhale. Now exhale, lower your arm, bend your left knee again. You might give it a little rock. And then please cross your left ankle over your right thigh and see what you feel there. So for some people, keeping the right foot on the floor is going to be fine. And then if you want to pick your right foot up, can you take a breath and relax your jaws and shoulders and neck? And then when you pick that foot up, can you keep all that area involved? Don't get your neck involved. And then you can rock and hold. So you're working your abs a little bit, working your leg a little bit to keep your foot up off the floor. And then you can rock and explore your left glutes, hip. Longer exhales really help with this releasing in these somewhat tighter areas. So any little rocking, and if you need to hold on, maybe just hold on lightly instead of clasping your fingers and hugging with your arms. Just try it, see how it works for you. And then you can release that foot down to the floor and uncross your legs again. So take a moment to even up your hips and shoulders. And this time we're going to do the bridge pose a few repetitions up and down, and then we'll try to hold that pose a little bit. So palms down by your sides. So without moving your body yet, make sure your neck is even. Take an in-breath and feel your chest lift. Might even feel your shoulder blades kind of draw together. On the exhale, pull your belly in. And in this position, you can think about your lower ribs pushing into the floor. And then inhale, just push yourself up into bridge pose. Let the exhale bring you down, rolling your spine down one vertebra at a time. Inhale, lift. Slow exhale to come down. See if you can let the exhale be a little bit slower. So one or two more repetitions depending on how fast you're breathing. And then you can repeat that a couple more times, or if you like, you can just lift up and hold the pose. Still cultivating a little longer exhale while we're moving toward the end of our practice. And if you're still in the pose, maybe 1, 2 more breaths, and when you feel ready, let an exhale bring you down. And then you can draw your knees into your chest and rock a little bit. Maybe shake your feet, shake your hands, shake it all off. And then let your feet come down to the floor. For a moment, we'll let the legs rest with the knees bent. And you may find it nice to have the feet apart and the knees touching. And you can either let your hands rest on your belly or out to the sides. Many people prefer that. Taking a moment to see how you want to support your body for Shavasana. So you may enjoy just stretching your legs out flat. Maybe that's comfortable for you. Or you can put, maybe have the 2 blankets here. I could put those under my knees. You can put your legs up in a chair, on the sofa. All of these things help to release tension in the hamstrings and the low back. So that may be really helpful. Soften or close your eyes. And as we begin to settle, let go of the effort to control your breath, and we'll take a couple of breaths to just get a little more comfortable. So wherever you are in your breath cycle, please inhale. And then a big sigh. And once more like that, big inhale. And a sigh. And then again, just positioning your body so you're comfortable. If you're cold, you could put a blanket on top of you. Just anything that's helpful for you to get comfortable so you can let your body rest. And I strongly suggest that you let yourself have about 5 or 10 minutes for your relaxation part. This part of the practice is just as important as the other part. In fact, sometimes more, especially in these times when we need a little bit of time to recharge. You might think about, how you plug your phone into the charger. Like this is the time you're plugging in, you're recharging. So give yourself 5 or 10 minutes. And I'll close with a little prayer. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. And may we all live with ease. May we all live in peace. So again, allowing yourself another 5, 10 minutes to rest, or again, I'll suggest 12 breaths. If you feel like you have to hop right up, try 12. Try staying for 12 breaths. I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.